What's good, it's your boy JLG here, back at you with another video, and today I'm bringing you my 2019/2020 NBA season predictions. I'm going to be going over the standings, who's going to be the MVP, who's going to win it all, and all the other awards like Most Improved, Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to cover all that today in today's video. But before I do get into it, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, smash the thumbs up button, and hit that notification bell as well. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so we're going to start it out west in the Western Conference. I think we're going to work our way up from the bottom up. So at the 8th spot, I've got the Golden State Warriors. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking. I've seen a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum for this team. I've put them sort of in the middle. I guess some people saying they're going to be trash, they're not even going to make the playoffs. Others saying, no, they're still the Golden State Warriors. They're going to be right up there in championship contention even. I put them around 8th spot. They're not looking too good in the preseason. I think they're going to sort of play D'Lo and Curry separately. They'll probably start them both, but then they'll bring D'Lo off sort of quickly, and then when they bring Curry off, they'll put D'Lo back on, and so on. Because they play a lot better when they're both individually on the court, not together, in the preseason at least, it looked like. But they're still a good team. I still think they're going to make the playoffs, but just not as dominant, obviously, as they were the last 5 or 6 years. Now, moving up to the 7th spot, I got the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, this team, even without Zion Williamson, who for me is a big question mark because he's already injured and the season hasn't even started. But even without him, we got Lonzo Ball, who I think is going to have a big year this year. Brandon Ingram, I think, is going to have a big year this year. And you got guys like JJ Redick, a consistent shooter who's going to knock down those shots, the catch and shoot especially. You got a veteran point guard, he's playing shooting guard this season, but a veteran guard in Drew Holiday, who I think is one of the top guards in the league. And this team, I think, is going to be really, really good this season. And the reason I say Lonzo and Ingram will have, and even Josh Hart will have a big season this year is because look at the Lakers' young players over the last few years that they've gotten rid of. Look what happened to Julius Randle. They let him go. He went to the Pelicans. Big seasons. You know, he's blossomed into a player that we're saying is not an all-star, but you sort of put him on that borderline all-star sort of position. You look at guys like D'Angelo Russell, obviously, in the contention for Most Improved Player of the Year, an all-star, first-time all-star. I know he's a backup, but still, he's getting there. That was a guy that people were naming a bust when he was in LA, you know? And Brooklyn, and not just Brooklyn, obviously New Orleans have done it with Julius Randle as well. I think that the Lakers development team really got to step up their game because it seems like every time they get rid of young talent, they just blossom. Now, moving up into the 6th spot, I've got the Sacramento Kings. Now, before I say, I've just got the Sacramento Kings as my breakout team of the year. I think last season was really good for them. They were a really fun, exciting, fast team to watch, especially led by De'Aaron Fox. And I think this season, now that they've got a season under their belt of being a respectable team to play, that they're going to be able to sort of advance from that and make a good playoff run. I don't think they'll make it past the first round, but I do think they'll be a tough team to beat. I think they'll play a tough series, whoever they play in the first round, and I think they're going to be the 6th seed this year. Moving up again now to the 5th spot, I got the Utah Jazz. I mean, this team are really, really underrated. I was even thinking about saying that they were the champions. I didn't, but this team are good. They got some good ads over the break. Still got Donovan Mitchell. Still got Rudy Gobert, a defensive player of the year who's just a monster in the paint, getting, 2.5 blocks per game, something crazy like that. They're my 5th spot. We're going to move it along a bit quicker. I've been taking my time too much. Then 4th, I got the LA Lakers. Now, this does not mean I think they're the 4th best team in the West. I just don't see them being a massive regular season threat. I think they'll start off the season well, I think they'll finish it well, but I think they're going to have a gap in between where they're just resting Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Come playoff time, it's a very different story, on my opinion, of the Lakers, but regular season, I don't see them doing amazing. 4th is still very respectable, and we're going to go on to 3rd now, who I've got the Denver Nuggets. A great young team led by the center, Nikola Jokic. And they got guys like Jamal Murray, who I think will really turn into a very, very solid second option this year. We saw him developing his game over the season and blossoming into a guy we'd expect to be an all-star in the next few upcoming seasons, at least I do. and I got them at the third spot. They've shown what they can do during the regular season. What they like one game off the Warriors last season or something like that. I think they're gonna have another big regular season. I got them at the third spot. Moving up to the second spot now, you know the team. It's the Los Angeles Clippers. This defense is gonna be a problem for any team trying to get buckets on them. When you talk about guys like Kawhi Leonard, former Defensive Player of the Year, guy who shut down LeBron in the Miami and San Antonio series. You look at a guy like Patrick Beverley, the defensive stopper that he is. You know, just pressuring, doesn't give up at all. Guys like Montrezl Harrell in the paint are a problem. You look at Paul George, another great two-way player. This team is going to be a problem, especially during the regular season. They got depth, they got a great bench in Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell coming off there and supporting. Obviously, they'll probably finish the game. They never really start there. But I got them at the second spot. And at number 1, the Houston Rockets. Now, this is a very controversial one that I'm waiting to see play out. I took a bit of a risk with this decision because they could finish 6th and I wouldn't be surprised. You look at James Harden though, with the preseason he's had, the chemistry that he seems to have with Russell Westbrook already, not only on but off the court, they're great friends. I think that's going to take them a long way, especially the mentality of the Rockets this year will be, we got eliminated in the second round by the Warriors. Why did they get eliminated in the second round? Because they weren't a top 2 team during the regular season. They didn't take it seriously enough. Now they will. They'll be first in the Western Conference, and they're going to have a home court 7-game advantage against any team they play in the league. I think they're going to have the best record in the league this year. Now we're going to move on to the East. At the 8th spot, I got the Orlando Magic, you know, one spot down from where they were last season. The East has gotten a lot tougher, I think, and I just don't see them improving that much. I don't see them declining much. I'm just going to have them in a similar spot. Sums itself up pretty much. Number 7, I got the Miami Heat, a team that didn't even make playoffs last season. I think they were the 10 seed. And the Miami Heat, honestly, are looking really, really good. They got Tyler Herro, who's had an amazing preseason so far with the Miami Heat. You got a guy like Jimmy Butler, who's going to be there. You got Goran Dragic, who I think will come off the bench. I'm still not 100% sure on that. A guy like Bam Adebayo, who's a contender. A lot of people are classifying him as a contender already. They think he's going to be most improved this season. I think that's a great team. I think they're going to be 7th in the East this season. Number 6 now, I got the Boston Celtics. Now, I know the Celtics, it's a bit of a toss-up because they brought in Kemba from the Hornets. In exchange for Kyrie, they lost Al Horford. But a lot of people aren't really worried about losing Kyrie because they're pointing to the fact that, well, look how well they played without Kyrie when he was injured a couple seasons ago. They got a team now that is a couple years older with their young guys, so they got a bit more experience. Surely they must be better. They brought in Kemba, so it's not like they just lost him for nothing. Kemba's probably the most similar player you can get to Kyrie. But at the same time, I don't see how Kemba is really going to be able to get that Celtics team over the top into a top 4 seed, especially because, like I said, Kemba is a very similar player to Kyrie, and also he's been, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, a top 3 point guard in the league the last couple seasons, and his Hornets team have just not found any success at all under Kemba Walker. I know that he hasn't really had that much help, but still, you'd expect that if he's that good, he can get at least maybe scrape into the playoffs, which he hasn't been able to do. That's why I got them at the 6th spot. Moving up to number 5 now, I got the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, I didn't have them this high on the list. They're my team, of course. I'm a big Nets fan. But I know they're not going to have KD. I know they're going to have Kyrie, who a lot of people are saying he's a good player, but he doesn't make his team better. But watching that team in the preseason, we still got a lot of depth, and Taurean Prince is a big add. Karis LeVert's coming off his injury. You remember he returned from pretty much a whole season injury last year. Only came back with like a month or something during the season. He's gonna be a bit more settled, a bit more used to his game again. I think we're gonna see him return to top form. Still got Spencer Dinwiddie, who I think should have been 6th man of the year, coming off the bench for the Nets, supporting Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen, Nicholas Claxton, the rookie who we drafted. I think the Brooklyn Nets, especially come playoff time when we get KD back, you don't want to mess with Brooklyn. I'm just gonna tell you that. Number 4, Toronto. They're saying, Toronto, they lost their best player in Kawhi. What are you doing putting them this high on the list? They lost also Danny Green. No, I don't care. You look at Pascal and the progress he's made in his game. You look at DeMar DeRozan. And you look at Kyle Lowry, who now can actually play in the playoffs for once. I say they're worse than what they were when they had DeRozan, but not by much. Obviously, they're worse than when they had Kawhi, but this team are known for being a good regular season team. I think they're going to be the 4 seed this season. Number 3, we got the Indiana Pacers. And Indiana are a really good team. I don't really have too much to say about them, but we know the players they got. We got, what's his name? Victor Oladipo is going to come back. And Indiana's just going to be a team that I feel like in the regular season will be a lot better than they will be in the playoffs. They're just one of those sort of teams, in my opinion. And moving on to second now, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, I don't really see how they've improved too much from last season. But I do think the fact that the Raptors have lost Kawhi does make them a substantially better looking team. Not a better team, but a better looking team in the Eastern Conference. That's why I think they're going to be second. Ben Simmons, hopefully, I don't even care about a 3. Just tell me he can shoot the ball from outside of the key. And that 76ers team is going to be a whole lot better. And number 1, I got the Milwaukee Bucks, led by Giannis. I don't think they've really regressed that much. I mean, Mirotic, I know they lost him. I know they lost Malcolm Brogdon, but still, I think they're going to be number 1. They got an MVP in Giannis. They got Chris Middleton, the second man on that team. Brook Lopez, still a great player. He came up big for that the Bucks team in the playoffs. So I've got them there. Now we're going to move on to the actual awards, the individual awards. Rookie of the Year we're going to start with. It's not Zion. It's not John Morant. It's not RJ Barrett. It's the guy from the Miami Heat, Tyler Herro. And if you saw him bowling in the preseason, then you'll definitely agree with me. To me, he's sort of like a better version of a Devin Booker, sort of a playmaking version as well. That shot of his, so clean. So clean. Money every time, doesn't even hit the rim. I got him as my Rookie of the Year. Most improved player now, it could go either way, but I got Lonzo Ball. I'm taking Lonzo Ball. He's looking like he's improved on his jumper yet again. He was looking good in the preseason. I think Zion, if he can stay healthy, is going to make Lonzo look really good on the court, but also statistically, all the nice, easy assists he's going to be able to get to him. He's going to have a good shooter in Drew Holiday. He's going to be able to kick that ball out too. And he's away from the mess of LA now. They're going to be able to develop him a lot more. I got Lonzo as my most improved player of the year. Now we're going defensive player of the year. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis came out. He's in LA. He's in part of Showtime, LeBron James, all the big flashing lights, playing in the Staples Center for a team like the Lakers. It might be intimidating, but he's come out and said, he wants to be the defensive player of the year this season. He thinks he's the best defensive player in the league. And when a guy like that has that determination for defense, that to me means a lot. And I think he's going to be able to get the job done on the defensive and win defensive player of the year. I think he'll get something like 2.5 blocks this season. Something crazy. Moving on now to the MVP. James Harden. That's right. People need to give James Harden the respect he deserves. A guy, I know he hasn't been the best, the most efficient player, but still, you got to look at his actual game. Now that Russell Westbrook has come in here, a lot of people thought he would get worse. I think it's going to make him better. I'll tell you why. Because he might not average as many points, maybe the same assists and rebounds, maybe not as much rebounds either. But the shots he'll take will be a lot better because he's no longer going to have to take these tough shots because he's got another guy who can create his own shot like Russell Westbrook. So when he's doing that, his efficiency will go up, and they care a lot about efficiency when they choose the MVP. As you can tell, otherwise James Harden would be MVP the last 5 seasons in a row. Maybe not 5, maybe the last 3 seasons in a row. But James Harden's going to be the MVP this season. And now moving on finally to the champions, it's the Clippers. LA Clippers, Kawhi's going to come back. He's going to go back-to-back. Paul George is going to get his first ever championship. Patrick Beverley's going to get it done, and the Clippers are going to win. And that brings me to the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure making this video. I'm sure we'll look back on it, have a laugh. But until next time, guys, peace.
Bitch, up on my line, on my meat cause it's prime. Then I got behind, sober watch, can't waste time. She would never change, but fucking shit, she a dime. I'ma beat the pussy, I kill it like it's a crime. Bitch, up on my line, on my meat cause it's prime. Then I got